Good day, boys and girls. I'm here in my reading tent, getting ready to read to my stuffed animals that I have here, and also to you. I've chose a book to read today that's a Newfoundland book. It's about Fogo Island. It's a place here in Newfoundland. It's a beautiful place. I was there to visit last summer, and when I'm finished the video, I'm going to put some pictures up so that you can see some pictures that I took when I was in Fogo Island as well. So it's called Fogo Island, My Favorite Corner of the Earth. Written and illustrated by Don Baker. So some beautiful illustrations in this book as well. Keith was an islander 2 times over. He lived on the beautiful small island of Fogo, which was just a short distance away from the much larger island of Newfoundland. Keith loved his home. He and his friends spent much of their free time exploring all around it. Fogo, after all, was known as one of the 4 corners of the earth. One day, he was checking out what the tide had washed in on Sandy Cove Beach. While there, he spotted an artist at work. He knew that's what she was, because artists had been coming more often lately, and he had spotted them before. Keith was really interested in the artist because he also loved to draw and paint. He watched for a while, but he didn't approach the lady who was painting. His mom had told him that artists don't usually want to be bothered when they are working. And besides, Keith was shy. Over the next few days, Keith saw the same artist with her easel in several different places. If she noticed him, she always smiled, and Keith began to smile back. Cup of tea there now. The following week, Keith walked into his kitchen to get a snack. Much to his surprise, there was his mom with the very same artist. They were both drinking tea at the kitchen table. Keith's mom introduced him to her good friend Catherine and explained that they had shared a room at college years before. "Hi, Keith, it's so nice to meet you. Your mom has been telling me that you have shown a lot of interest in the Shorefast artist that you have seen working around Fogo Island." "That gives me an idea. I'm going to be set up with my painting gear near Squish Studio on Friday. Squish Studio is my home base for the summer. It would be nice to have some company that day. Would you like to join me there? I have an extra easel that you can use." Keith replied, "I would really like to. Is that okay, Mom?" Keith's mom was fine with it, as long as he promised to mind his manners. So when Friday came, Keith and Catherine met just after lunch. Catherine helped him set up the easel and showed him how much paint to squeeze out onto his palette. It was a lot less than he would have thought. Now, Just look out at what you see, she said, and paint what you feel. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just enjoy the process. Keith watched Catherine and did his best to follow her lead. She used bright blues and greens, so he did also. Where Catherine's movements were fast and sure, Keith's were slow and a little messy. But it didn't matter. It was so much fun. Beautiful picture of a stage. Catherine told Keith that she was from a big city far away and that she was in Fogo for the summer. She told him that she had never been in a place that was more beautiful and that he was so lucky to live there. Before Keith knew it, it was time for supper. He couldn't believe how quickly the time had passed. And although his painting looked nothing like Catherine's, the colors were very pretty, and he knew his mom would love it. After that day, the two decided to meet every Friday to paint. Sometimes in between Fridays, Keith saw Catherine with her easel, and she would wave at him and smile. Catherine found endless scenes to capture. She painted the sea, the sky, the land, as well as the villages and the magnificent Fogo Island Inn. She spent almost a week on nearby Change Islands painting the Newfoundland ponies that lived there. The summer was flying by. On one of their last Fridays together, Catherine told Keith about a very special painting that she was working on. The subject of this painting, she said, hasn't been the greatest source of inspiration for me here on Fogo Island. I think it will be my best work yet. Keith wondered what the painting might be. Would it be Brimstone Head? Jobat's Point? Maybe it would be one of the gigantic icebergs that had drifted by. Or perhaps it was one of the old buildings, the school, or Bleak House. Or maybe Catherine's special painting would be the view from the inn's dining room. Keith couldn't decide. It could be anything. The summer was nearly over. Catherine would soon be leaving, and Keith will be heading back to school. However, there was a very important event before all of that. Catherine was having an exhibit of all the beautiful art that she painted on Fogo Island. There's the gallery. All her paintings. The exhibit was taking place in the spacious gallery at the Fogo Island Inn. Keith and his mom were definitely going, and he was so excited. He felt lucky to have gotten to know Catherine and paint with her. He knew it was a summer he would remember forever. it's getting warm inside this tent now. Keith also felt happy because he knew that his mom had a thoughtful gift for Catherine. It was a quilt that was lovingly made to thank Catherine for all the Fridays she painted with Keith. The quilt was full of color and life, just like Catherine's work. As Keith walked through the exhibit, he smiled as he recognized many of the beautiful paintings. He noticed Catherine standing toward the end of the display. He couldn't see the painting that was behind her. Just then she moved, and Keith gasped. What do you think the painting is? Any ideas? There he was, looking back at himself from the canvas. As Catherine watched Keith's reaction, she had a big grin on her face, but at the same time her eyes were shimmering with tears. Keith realized that even though Catherine had been deeply touched by the beauty and history of Fogo Island, he had inspired her even more. It was the best feeling ever, one he would never forget. Keith knew that because of that summer, Fogo was now one of Catherine's favorite corners of the earth, too. The end. Hope you enjoyed the book. I love reading Newfoundland books. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share some pictures of Fogo Island, and you can see some more pictures of the island and of the inn. It's a beautiful place. Fogo Island. Thank you so much to the author for letting us share this book. Have a good day.